It wasn't that he was more or less douchey than anyone else. Really, his level of douchebaggery was rather average. He was simply the most popular douchebag at Happy Valley. I mean, let's face it. He was cool. How cool? Imagine that Ferris Bueller's Day Off was based on the real-life story of Aaron Zimmerman, this human being whose will the universe miraculously obeyed. Except instead of Matthew Broderick, Aaron would be played by this genetically engineered teenage clone hybrid of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Quarterback? Check. 4.0 GPA? Check. I hadn't seen the guy's ding-dong, but I imagine it was the size of a small nuclear warhead. I mean, why not? Everything else in the world was conclusively in his favor. But before the list happened, more on the list later, I'd only had one real encounter with Aaron Zimmerman. Why would anyone as popular as him have had any reason to even acknowledge my existence? Why, if my head intercepted his football, of course. April 12th, 12:50 p.m., if you want to get specific. I was wearing my lucky hoodie, plain black with a 4-leaf clover printed on the front, which was really more of an ironic name because bad things always happened to me while I was wearing it. My older brother Shane gave it to me for my birthday, although I was pretty sure he bought it from some kind of witch doctor because it was definitely jinxed as fuck. There was a hole in the inner fabric of the front pocket that I liked to stick my right thumb in, ripping it just a little bigger each time. I couldn't help myself. A nervous tic, I suppose, when you're essentially wearing a Kismet time bomb. Meanwhile, Aaron was chucking said football across the crowded hall to his crony Kyle Dunstan. Yes, of Grand Canyon-assed fame, the trajectory of which was well over everyone else's heads. Unfortunately, my head was also well over everyone else's heads. The football connected with my face. 250 pounds or not, that football nearly sent me flying into last Tuesday. But instead of shattering the space-time continuum, I merely collided into the nearest locker, leaving a perfect Neanderthal-shaped fossil imprint. For about 5 discombobulating seconds, I had no idea what happened. My mental processing was going something like this. Good. I was still prying myself out of the locker crater when Aaron Mosesed his way through the crowded hall like it was the Red Sea. He extended a helping hand. I took it. Whoa, are you okay? He said, half laughing, half sounding like something resembling genuineness. You really did a number on that locker. I was still struggling to operate the English language, so I just kept blinking, failing to grasp that ever-elusive thing we call reality. Aaron was smiling as he eyed the crushed locker, and in my befuddled state, it could have passed as a real smile. Man, what do you eat for breakfast? Twinkies and small children? I know I was big, and in the world we lived in, big usually equaled stupid, but I wasn't stupid. I had 3 realizations instantaneously. 1. That line was a Lacey Hildebrandt original. 2. Aaron Zimmerman had dated Lacey Hildebrandt. This might have seemed like a grand coincidence, but really it wasn't. Aaron was like James Bond. Always got the girl, never the STD. Or maybe he had all the STDs. Who knew? 3. During that brief relationship, the two of them had obviously had a great big laugh at Neanderthal, the Twinkie and small children eater. And that brings me to high school rule number 3. Fists speak louder than words. Chapter 2. My fist was a wrecking ball, and it was swinging to excavate Aaron's genetically engineered Brad Cruz clone-ass face. That's when I learned that I had made a dire miscalculation. He wasn't just a Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise clone. There was also Bruce Lee in there somewhere, because he limboed backward, narrowly missing my blow, and then he popped right back up like a jack-in-the-box guided by his fist, which nailed me right in the jaw. Now, I was obviously a big guy, bordering on Brobdingnagian. But damn.